Hello, and welcome to Working Title Episode 1. We don't know what we're doing. Featuring me, Rusty, and my friend here, Paco. I think that went off without a hitch. That was exactly as planned. I think that might be the only part of this episode that's scripted.
That's actually worth it.
Yeah. Shit! Knocked over my Coke!
You son of a bitch. And by scripting, I mean we thought that up like a minute in advance.
Yeah. Obviously, just by the name of the title here, we don't have a real name for the podcast, so we're just going working title for the time being.
Yeah, I've been really bad at naming things ever since I started playing music, and I was like, I cannot name anything I've done. And when it came to this, I am equally useless.
Oh God, that picked up for sure. Well, you could tell that we're basically siblings. I mean, all but blood.
Yeah, many different fluids besides blood, but
yeah, so many others have been shared over the years.
yeah, the blood at this point is obsolete. I mean, we're more connected than you can imagine.
Blood, who needs it?
I mean, blood means nothing to me.
Yeah. So, personally, in all my times where I've seen blood, I've thought, that's kind of lame.
Wow. Doing what I do, I see a lot of blood. And most of the time I'm like, And they're sobbing on the floor. I'm like, look at that. That's wild.
My occupation.
My occupation. Yeah, it's my job. Not my not my hobby. My actual job of stacking skids is where I see the most blood.
Oy. So, as we're recording this, it's the day after Christmas. It's December 26th, 2022.
Yeah, I mean, I had a pretty successful Christmas.
Me too. I think it's the best one I've had in a couple years, ever since I became an adult.
I had a pretty enjoyable Christmas. I got some neat little things. I mean, you got the microphone that we're using right now.
Hells yeah, man.
You got a new microphone.
This is possible due in part, or actually due entirely, to my sweet girlfriend Miranda.
Who may be joining us later in the podcast, hopefully.
You might know her as Felfie on YouTube, and I'll definitely leave a link to that in the description. She's been trying to stream more as of late, but we'll get to that later. But like we were talking about, it is, Christmas is in the rear view, and I think that I've had a pretty good one. I mean, for the first time, I have a girlfriend to get stuff for, friends to get stuff for, family. So Christmas, I noticed this a lot as I've gotten older, or I guess in the past few years, really. Christmas changes a lot once you, at least in our household, once you turn 18, it's like, all right, you gotta figure out presents and stuff.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where no one expects gifts as well. So I always give gifts because I feel too guilty not to give people things, especially if they got me something.
Yeah, exactly.
But I look at my bank account whenever I do it, and I'm like, oh my God!
That's what we were talking about. That's what we were talking about. She was just telling me earlier, she's like, I got a text from my bank saying that I don't have enough money in my account. Well, that's only just because she has all of her money, all of her paychecks and stuff, go right into her savings. It's probably a good idea, but
I've done a really bad job with that.
Oh yeah,
I spend more money at Chipotle every month than I save every month. I guarantee you.
My brother in Christ.
Dude, I got a $25 Chipotle gift card from my
dad. I got a $30
one of my favorite gifts.
I gotta use that shit, bro.
Dude, Chipotle makes me happy.
It does. Chipotle is great.
It makes me so happy.
I love Chipotle.
But with the prices of Chipotle, I can get a meal and a half with that card.
Exactly, bro. You go to Taco Bell? I think I saw a study once, and it said Taco Bell is, actually the cheapest fast food, and that makes sense to me.
That's pretty fair. I mean,
you can buy a meal's worth of food for, one person and only spend literally, $5.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
My dad does it the cheapest route, where he gets 2 burritos that he likes, opens one up, puts the other one inside, makes one giant burrito, and he spends $3 on it.
What I prefer to do is I get the beefy melt burrito, and I get the Chipotle Ranch Grilled Chicken Burrito, and both of those are like $2.
Is it-
I get two of one of the other, or sometimes if I'm feeling spicy, I'll get like a Crunchwrap or something, and that'll be a few extra bucks. But like most of the time, whenever I go to Taco Bell, especially if I'm with friends, I'll just be like, yeah, I can cover you.
Yeah,
it's
really
not that hard.
It's really not that bad. You know, as we're talking, and I realize that we're almost having, for the most part, civil conversations, that I'm sure will change over time.
Yeah.
An idea for the direction of this podcast could potentially be that it's just brotherly. I mean, we can be everyone's brother.
Yeah.
If people watch, they want to feel like they have some brothers.
Yeah, there you go.
We just talk, we goof, we gaff, we talk about life. And maybe people start watching, and they want to call in and be one of the brothers. Then that would be a fun little segment.
Yeah.
We have plenty of
As we
potential
progress.
brothers and brotherettes, because we don't do sisters around here.
No.
Brotherettes that may join for little things in the podcast, their own little speak sesh. And I think that's a fun idea and an interesting direction to go. Because
Yeah.
even if they're here, it doesn't mean we can't goof and gaff.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean,
I like that idea. Like
on.
having a segment where people call in and talk to us for a little bit. That might be fun in the future.
because a lot of the reason I'll watch podcasts or listen to them sometimes is just to feel like I'm a fly on the wall in a conversation.
Yeah,
I can sleep to that.
Whenever I like to listen to people. I like
Yeah.
to listen to people talk about stuff a lot.
And I'm saying the way that we do it, since we're brothers, it probably feels more like you're just kind of listening to a conversation.
Yeah. It's like we've literally known each other for like
A very long time.
literally most of our lives at this point. Going on like I think a decade and a half.
That's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
I'm shocked I've even been around that long. Just to hear that I've been around for a decade and a half.
Right?
And I'm beyond that.
Whenever you're a little kid, or even like into your like later youth, like middle school years, you're like a decade. Wow, that's a
Yeah.
long time.
You ever sit and think about...
It's like I'm more than 2 decades old at this point. Is that Patrick Warburton? No, not there. There he is.
Yeah, that is.
Hey, I'm Patrick Warburton.
Football.
I'm here to drink barefoot wine and watch football.
That's...
I hate my life.
People stopped laughing at Family Guy, so now I have to make commercials about
They
wine.
canceled the Venture Bros.
So now I'm all about football.
A single tear goes down his cheek. Oh, fuck me.
How many men do you think drink wine while watching football?
Barefoot, no less. Barefoot. The barefoot's like the fucking... it's like toilet wine, bro. Damn.
I drink that alcohol, like that
Do you
no
think
alcohol.
you think that Patrick Warburton genuinely likes it?
Absolutely not. He's a beer guy. You can hear it in his voice. He drinks beer and beats
Oh.
women. That's just what. That's the way to go.
It's just one of those dudes. What's like your favorite role that Patrick Warburton is in? Obviously, there's Joe from Family Guy.
Mm-hmm.
There's Crunk. I think those are
Crunk.
the two most famous ones. What else? Let me look up his fucking like roles.
Joe does hold a very special place in my heart, just because as a young lad, him being part of a show that I would watch, and he did a very good job, so well at this point that most people hear that voice and think Joe Swanson before Patrick Warburton.
He's a big dude.
How old is he?
63. No, he's 58. He's 6'3".
I mean, yeah. That's, honestly, his height and his age aren't that far apart.
No,
63 feet tall.
he's 5 years from now. Oh yeah, he played the. He played the like.
He was the
human guy.
He was the boyfriend in the
He was-
B movie, or is it a husband?
I think it was a boyfriend.
He was the chick's guy.
Oh, you're talking to a bee.
Yeah. What?
Hey, good luck fitting that in your pussy.
What weird world are we living in where that dude was thought of as just out of line? He's like, you're talking to a bee. Stop trying to fuck the bee.
And they're all like, no.
Everyone, all the kids are like, I hate that
Jerry
guy.
Seinfeld, what's the deal with this fucker?
What's the
Get
deal?
him out of my sight! Kill him now! Oh God! And then he commands his army of bees to sting Patrick Warburton to death. He looks like Patrick Warburton in the movie too.
He does.
No one. It's like Barry B. Benson looks kind of like Jerry Seinfeld.
I don't know
in a weird way.
I don't know who. The bee looks Jewish to me.
Fucked up way.
The bee looks Jewish to me. I don't know what you're talking about.
Look at him.
You ever notice? I was thinking about it recently. How differently everything is perceived when you're a kid compared to not even like that much younger than us now.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't move here all that long ago.
Or I didn't know beaver meant like vagina until like literally like 3 or 4 years ago.
Wait, what?
I didn't know beaver meant vagina until like 3 or 4 years ago. I was like, oh, that song, why known as Big Brown Beaver. Oh, that's funny. I like beavers.
I was not expecting it to go that way.
Oh, what do you mean?
Well, I was talking about, we moved in this house, 2014?
I want to say that, yeah, something like that.
I know it was December 2014 because I got the WWE game the Christmas before we moved.
Oh,
and
yes.
I was playing it while we were packing.
Was it 14 or 15 that was like the last good one?
14.
14?
14 was really fun. It had the Road to WrestleMania thing where you played through all the ones.
Yes.
Incredible game. But when we moved here, and we were just like, this house is so much cooler. Like, we were walking around. We'd go to the basement just because we had a basement that didn't suck. And we'd sit there in the blank room and just chill and just shoot the shit for hours. We just sit there.
That was before even podcasts like basically existed. You had Rogan, you had a handful of others, but like it was mostly just like, that wasn't a thing. Not to say that we were podcasting, of course. It's just like we didn't have the idea.
We were like podcasting without the microphone.
Yeah, we would just sit down there and bullshit.
We had so much fun doing nothing all the time.
2 liters of soda,
dude,
bag of Doritos, have a great time.
My dad always jokes to me for being fat, and I'm like, you know what youth just made us think that was normal? We would get a bag of chips, a whole fucking just the whole thing of cookies and a 2 liter. And you just say, go to town, and we go downstairs and watch Talladega Nights and chug a whole 2 liter.
Watch Family Guy until 2 a.m.
and then play with action figures for at least 5 hours.
Oh,
we'd fall asleep at 5 in the morning and wake up at 3 and do nothing with the next day.
I miss that so much.
And that was the best.
That was the shit.
The idea that some parents...
All you fucking kids out there, don't squander your youth.
Even
live it up.
I'm still young enough to have fun, but it's like your brain will never interpret it the same way that it did.
Exactly.
How magical in the moment that it seemed.
Uh-huh.
Like, at the time when we had all that stuff and we were sitting there.
Because you experienced it. You now has experienced it more times than you then. So it's lost some of its intrinsic value.
If I'm sitting in my room, because most of the time if I'm in my room, I'm alone. I'm sitting here alone with my stuffed frog and a bag of chips, a whole thing of cookies, and a 2 liter. I might be crying, and I might need to call somebody. It's like, this is not a good time.
Yeah.
But when we used to do that, we'd sit, there was literally not a single other thing I'd rather be doing.
Exactly.
You could offer me to go to the coolest movie ever. I would much rather just have all that stuff.
You gotta do it with the homies.
The bro nights, dude. I remember one of our last ones in Alliance, where we were playing Apples to Apples. We were making weirdos on the PS3 in the living room, and we made that cream cheese spread for the crackers.
Oh yes.
And we put them on the crackers.
That shit was good.
We were slamming those down, absolutely slamming, and we were just hanging out, and we took a second. I'm not sure if you remember, but I remember very, very vividly that we knew we were moving soon. We didn't know how soon exactly because we were kind of just kids. We were just told, hey, we're going to start packing. But we were sitting there, and we took a second where me, you, and Hunter just sat. And we were like, someone else is going to be in this house. Like, we sat for a second, and we were like, someone else is going to be in this house. And we are never going to be back in here again. And it was just a weird thought. Like, now it's not. Like, now I think
it's still kind of weird to think about. Because it's not something you actively think about. If you're in a house, you're in the moment, you think about your past experiences, but you don't think that someday you're going to move out and someone else is going to move in.
Yeah, and how much I find myself missing, even though this house is far superior.
It's in
a better neighborhood. But when I think about or I drive by that house, I'm like, dude, We had
going
so
down to the
much
church parking lot, riding our bikes, acting like we were Ghost Riders.
Yes! Or all the times that we would, like, go out in the side yard and play, like, Gears of War out there.
Yeah.
Or we'd go out there and we'd play, like, Transformers and things of that nature. Or we'd go into the side room that had the tile floors, cover it in bubble soap.
God, I love
throw
that.
Giant rubber ball. and it would come around, we're slipping and busting our skulls off the floor. All this heavy, like,
hearing the whole room shift.
This 1 pound
that house
ball.
That house was old and almost falling apart. Some places it was. The basement wasn't
Those
finished.
windows were covered in that plastic wrap that we had everywhere for some reason. Like, my dad just, I think he
I
just
remember,
took
like,
it from
big
work.
spools
We had
of
the
it,
giant spools of this plastic.
There was one year where we didn't have sleds, so we used the plastic.
And we laid on a parent. And we all slid down the hill to Silver Park. Like...
Oh, God. That's crazy.
Just, I don't know, you got what I'm saying, though. Like, if we all went sledding today, we would have a very, very different experience.
Yeah,
and
it's everything is magical whenever you're a kid.
I remember the first time we went sledding here, when we moved here, we built that ramp that went down over, like, the brick wall, and we ran it straight across the road into the church parking lot. And we did all that, and then we go into the garage and warm up, because we had that wall heater that doesn't work anymore. And just the magic that was, like, we have a garage with a heater in it.
We didn't even have a garage. Oh, we did, but it was full of, like, poison ivy and shit.
Yeah, you'd, like,
was
die
awful.
if you went over there.
It wasn't even barely a garage.
We didn't put anything in there. That's the crazy part.
Yeah, it was built like it was a garage, but the road didn't go up to it. We didn't have a driveway. It was really weird.
It was a nightmare. That place was awful, but I had so much fun in the pool.
We couldn't plug too much shit in.
No.
Like, we couldn't have, like, the Xbox and the PlayStation on the same, like, circuit. Otherwise, it would blow a fuse.
I remember that being a problem.
That was a big problem, I think, because we all had Xboxes. And we had the big fucking old tank TV.
That was the most incredible Christmas I have ever had to date.
Well, we all got the little flat screens.
We all got little they're not incredible. They're little flat screen TVs with remotes. We all got Xbox 360s that came with Minecraft.
Yes.
All of them came with Minecraft. And we each got one other game.
Yeah. I got Skate 3.
I got WWE, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I got WWE, and then Hunter got Red Dead Redemption. I got WWE.
Okay.
Because that was the Christmas before we left. That was our last Christmas in Alliance. I got 2K14, which I ended up playing the day that we left. I remember that I remember because I started a match, and then I was hoping that it would save when we drove here, so I could plug it into the TV we had on the downstairs floor.
Oh yes.
And
oh my God, I remember watching
Jeff Dunham.
I remember,
it was different because you guys were here first. I came like the third night you guys were here.
I remember whenever we switched from the old box TV to this new one that we have downstairs, the flat screen. We didn't have a stand on it or anything because it was the old box TV we had wheels.
It was just a huge TV, and essentially it sat on its speakers, which sat on wheels. Yeah, it was just a very large TV, which really I don't know why we don't use. I know we don't need it, but it's still a good TV.
Yeah,
it runs fine, it sounds fine, it looks good. It's just big and bulky.
Yeah.
Do you remember whenever we moved that into the basement? We had a second. Like there was a while when we first got here where we'd hang out in the basement just because we had a basement.
Yeah.
Then we stopped. And then that TV got put down there, and Nana moved in, and the couches were there. There was the couch, and then the two...
in the corner right underneath the kitchen.
Yeah, and there's the love seat, and then the two recliners.
Uh-huh.
And there was a Renaissance, where we just never left again. We sat in there.
I need to get a fucking love seat or something for the basement now, because we have that good... It's a 4K TV. It's 4K smart TV. Mm-hmm. And we have fucking Amazon and everything, and all the streaming services. We have Miranda's PlayStation hooked up down there. We could turn that into a new hangout space.
Absolutely. We just had a lot of fun. Like, that was a part of our lives where it was right before we had to get responsibilities.
Yeah.
We were old enough to have a lot of fun. So, like, we'd have our friends over. Like, that one time with Ollie, or, like, whenever Jesse would always come over. I I remember grinding Roblox with Jesse on the phone.
Oh,
and me and you were hanging out.
Thick Legends.
Or like Lexi would come over, and like you and her had. That was before you and her had ever really met. Whenever the group started hanging out and everything, but we all just got along because we were hanging out in the basement and watching stuff.
Another era I missed too.
Dude, hanging out with the group.
Summer right before we both got like big boy jobs.
Dude, that was.
It was you, me, Lexi, Stevie, Gavin,
Jesse, Anderson, Abby.
The whole squad.
I don't know if Gavin.
All you guys are the same age. I am 2 years older than them. But it wasn't weird because we were all buddies.
Some of the times you were our reason that we could be out past curfew.
Yes.
Because
I was the cool guy.
You were of age. We had I remember we'd go and get a dinner box. And anything that we didn't eat, you would grab out of the box and put in your hoodie pocket. In worst case scenario, if you had to bring it with you, you'd shove it in your hoodie pocket. And we'd go like to the skate park. None of us skate. And we just run around, sit on the ramps, slide down.
God.
And that was so fun. I remember that same era. The group, it wasn't the group, but it was the same era. Me and Jesse went to the creek at Brock Park, and I think maybe it was Oktoberfest. Something was going on at Brock, and the creek was real low. So we went down there and we set up 2 rocks to sit on that we could stay dry on, and then in the middle we set up a rock and we played cards on it. But like in between us and that table was water, and around us was water, and we were hanging out like in the middle, and we were just playing cards.
Yeah.
And that was just so much fun because there was something weird about it. Like everyone was kind of partying, but we were like playing cards in the middle. it was just so cool, things like that. Or we'd meet up in the trains. The little train cars at Brock Park, and me and Jesse would eat Taco Bell.
Chase you around like you were a little immigrant boy.
Like, no! Pink Guy was playing on the phone. You know, it was real era,
God.
man.
Jesus Christ. Those days.
But we've had some really, really fun times, and I'm starting to get the worried feeling that, like, that's not going to happen anymore.
Well,
really, I mean, like, it's way less frequent, and over time, especially as we all grow, how even less often it's going to become, especially when people start moving out of their houses, where they're going to go. Like, Jesse's a genius, all right? Jesse's smart as shit. It's perfectly reasonable to assume he'd move somewhere better than Minerva.
Yeah.
More than likely, he'll move someone better than Ohio.
Yeah.
Ohio kind of sucks. So he's going to be like, I want to leave. And I wouldn't blame him, but then I'd never see Jesse.
Yeah.
You know, things like that are going to start happening as we grow up. Kind of blows.
I think the only way that I would move state is if I had either, like, if I blew up as, obviously, like, a fucking YouTuber or whatever, or if I had a cool, successful job. And I could afford doing that.
I think the only way that I'd move states is if it snows one more fucking time. Because I'm at my wit's end. I want to go to like we have some bordering states with Ohio that don't suck. And I'm thinking about going there. I think Tennessee would be really nice.
What do we got?
Because Tennessee snows, but it's not near as bad as up here. It stays warmer.
Pennsylvania,
that
Virginia,
sucks. That sucks.
West Virginia.
That sucks.
Yeah. What is it? Indiana?
Indiana sucks.
Indiana's just like an extension of Ohio.
It's just other Michigan.
Yeah.
It's really cold.
It's Indiana. Listen, a lot of the Midwestern states are just the same.
Tennessee is like 2 states down. It's like connected through Kentucky. It's like a pipeline. And it's warmer during the summer. It's warmer during the winter. There's less total snow. Less chances of ice. There's not really I mean, there's some tornadoes, but there's not like hurricanes. Less likely to have snowstorms. I heavily considered. I've been there. Their chicken, incredible. Nashville hot chicken is like one of my favorite foods.
Dude, that was Slash.
Where's his penis? I don't see his wiener.
There he is. It's sticking out. You just can't see it. His guitar's hiding it.
Yeah, it's under his guitar is his phallus.
He's strumming the guitar with his long ween.
It just makes it feel more personal. I don't understand.
That's what Buckethead could never replace him with.
Yeah. Buckethead pulls out his little shrimp, and he's like, "Oh man, I'll never be Slash."
Oh man.
I've heard Flo for Progressive's really mean.
Wouldn't surprise me.
I've heard like
she's got a little bit of the RBF.
But Lexi's dad has a crush on her.
What?
Mm-hmm.
No way.
Yeah, dude.
That's hilarious.
I have a crush on that black man.
Tyrone. What's his name? Did you catch his name?
His name's Alan. With one L. A-L-A-N.
Like Alan Scott, the Green Lantern.
Yeah, the green one. Yeah.
The other
Alan
green
Scott, the green one.
Be green.
Are we going green? You know, take care of the earth. We're going green.
Dude, I'm going under.
We should get Evanescence on the podcast.
Do you think? No, because they're still somewhat successful.
Yeah, there's not a shot.
No.
There's not a chance. I think, like I said, privately.
We need to find some D-list, like someone who was in the 90s.
I know some fighters that could come on the podcast.
We need to listen to their shit, and then we just need to like.
Soldier Boy.
I am a Soldier Boy on. Listen.
I want to. Maybe he'll give us like a Soldier Cast or something. We can get his game.
Dude, I can get a bootleg console. No way.
30 billion games in one.
It's all just like modded versions of Pac-Man.
It's all different.
Pac-Man ROM hacks.
It's all Skyrim.
So,
but every one of them has one.
Skyrim at varying like.
Every one of them has one different mod, but it doesn't stack. So like one of them is one minor mod, and it just keeps going with all the mods you can get individually on each one. It takes terabytes and terabytes to get the whole thing.
You have the world's mightiest pocket computer.
You have to get this giant like.
It may or may not run on nuclear power.
That's
for Soldier Boy to know and you to find out.
Salt out of the ocean water.
30 years, whenever you have the radiation poisoning.
Soldier Boy. You'll be cranking that Soldier Boy in the grave, dude.
Cranking that Soldier Boy 6 feet under.
Dude, if I died, I'd be cranking the Soldier Boy. Absolutely.
If you guys hear this, listen, if anyone playing my funeral hears this, you have to play Soldier Boy at my funeral.
Yeah, any song will do.
Listen, mix it. That's the only meme song I request. Everything else has to be legit. Stuff I loved and listened to in life. Except for that. Except for Soldier Boy. He has to be in here.
Song, yeah.
He says, Soldier Boy, open the Superman, no! How me you like that dong? That's what he sounds like to me.
Yeah, that's what Soldier Boy sounds like.
This is my real Soldier Boy reaction.
We're gonna have beef with Soldier Boy.
Come at me!
Come at me, Soldier Boy! Yeah, Soldier Boy. I want to get Young Gravy on here.
Oh, that's the end goal.
The end goal is to get Young Gravy, yeah.
Listen, I'm afraid to have Young Gravy on. I don't want him to steal my girlfriend.
Oh, he won't steal your mom. He doesn't care about...
That's bad,
He doesn't care about, like, people his age. You guys are around the same age as Young Gravy.
Isn't that weird? Like, in the grand scheme of how old is Young Gravy? He's got to be, what, like,
he's in his
30?
No, he's in his 20s.
He's in his 20s?
Yes, sir.
28?
I actually don't think... He might not even be 28. Young Gravy is a very young man. He's also really tall.
Because I am within a decade of Young Gravy. You would be too, right?
Young Gravy is 26 years old.
19, right?
I'm 18.
18.
Young Gravy is 26.
26?
Yes.
Damn!
You guys are not that far apart.
Oh, I almost could have gone to school with him. He was
like,
not in terms of area, but in terms of age.
He was like, what, 5 when you were born? How old are you?
I'm 22.
Oh, shit.
21.
I was gonna say, he was like 5. He was like, yeah. He was like 5 when you were born. He's 6'7".
For some reason, I had it in my head that I was 22. I'm not 22.
I always just...
Oh, my nuts!
Sorry.
So I was slinging my phone around, having a good time with my dumb little fidgety hands.
That's what he wants you to think.
Hit myself in the knob.
Here's my spear.
What is this?
I made it when at work. I took a part off of a skid and I carved it to a spear. Or at least a little poker.
Oh, it is a little pokey.
It's the beginning of a spear.
It's like a very short lance.
I sit on it sometimes.
I sit on it to get a rise out of myself. Yeah. I feel like I'm Vlad the Impaler.
Ha ha ha!
Alright, that's enough. Put it back in its case. The spear case.
Oh, dude, I slimed.
Oh, dude.
Oh, dude. Oh,
I goobed.
oh God, no, dude. Dude, I slimed.
Get my hanky.
No, dude, help. Please, please, please. I need a change of pants. I slimed.
I slimed in my pants.
I slimed real bad.
Mommy, help, I did a bad slime.
Mom, I slimed. God fucking...
Not
God,
again!
You're a bottle cracking the back. God fucking damn it!
Damn it, Jimmy! What did I tell you about sliming,
I'm
boy?
trying to have intercourse with your mother! Stop sliming!
Oh, no.
That's what my whole childhood was.
No.
Stop sliming yourself! I'm trying to take advantage of your mother! Hey, boy.
It sounds like Mr. Krabs, that's what I was gonna say.
Stop sliming yourself!
Oi, boyo! Stop sliming yourself while you're at work!
I'm tired of changing your diaper.
SpongeBob, did you slime?
Still.
Me too!
Are you still sliming your pants?
Oh, are you guys sliming over here? Krabs?
Slime boy.
Eugene, are you sliming without me again? So whenever he has the clarinet stuck in his throat.
Squidward, you're blue!
Squidward, you're a Jew!
Squidward, you're choking!
Squidward, why are you blue?
Squidward, why are you blue?
Do you think anyone in Bikini Bottom commits hate crimes?
I think Frank's Old Man Jenkins. I'm sure he lets off somewhere about like shellfish.
Oh, these damn shellfish! Always in my fucking way.
Damn shellers.
Shellers.
What's a good slip for shellfish?
Sugar.
Fuck.
What's a shellfish? Is that like a clam?
Homie, it's any sea creature with a shell.
It's lots of sea creatures.
Lobsters, crabs, yeah.
Yeah.
You know how many white people I know that just hate minorities in general? That's a lot of them.
Wow. Yeah. For being as north as we are, literally we're a Canadian border state. There's a lot of people who don't like other colors.
Which is strange because they think they're they act real.
I hate the goddamn Nazis, but let me tell you, those black people.
Isn't it funny how many Confederate flags you see in Ohio? I'm like, we're not South
yeah,
at all,
exactly.
right?
No,
we're not in the South.
Heritage, not hate. Whatever.
Your heritage isn't here.
Your heritage is the Union flag, my friend.
Yeah, you're in Ohio, homeboy. We were never in the South. Ever.
Yeah, listen, I can understand if it was a family or two, but literally everywhere you go around here, it's people flying the Confederate flag. It's
even
bro.
Even before the Louisiana Purchase, we were still the Midwest.
We
were never the South. I don't know what you're doing. You can go back wherever you're from if you want that. I mean, or I guess you can bring it wherever. But I don't know how many Africans go around with an African flag saying, it's heritage, not hate.
Wakanda forever!
That's not here. Stop. Hey, are you communist? Are you trying to spread? Spread your Southern propaganda to Ohio?
It's you get a van with a Mexican flag on the side, and you just hear mariachi music emanating from it.
It's heritage.
Heritage, not hate, man. We're getting canceled. No, Paco's Hispanic. It works.
I'm Puerto Rican.
Okay.
We're all the same thing.
Is he Puerto Rican? Oh.
Is he Mexican?
Oh, Kevin guy. Oh, I miss him.
Is he Puerto Rican? His cute face.
Oh, those supple cheeks.
I'm gonna pray.
Michelle, I'm gonna pray.
I'm gonna pray.
Guys, can you hear me? that peaked hard. Well into bed. Oh, fucking hell.
Hope you enjoyed the Paco ASMR.
How long have we been? It's only been 30 minutes. Jeebus.
Yeah, we don't see. We're running into the thing that I think it's one of those things where we're too cohesive. It feels too comfortable that pauses that wouldn't be good for audio listening
That's
occur.
that's what The Funny Brothers, the original Funny Brothers. They talk about that sometimes. How they have to cut out just like minor pauses that are normal in conversation, not like awkward shit, but like you're thinking about
just absorbing what you just said.
Yeah, absorbing what you said and thinking about what comes next. And that's just like that's a normal part of conversation, but obviously it doesn't make for great listening.
One of the things I think it would be useful for us to have a guest relatively often is because
we have
especially
a third voice in the mix.
If they're opinionated. I can't answer it. Mr. Rutherford! Mr. Rutherford!
I have a question.
Yeah.
Me and Jaden, who's more athletic?
Between you and Jaden?
Yeah.
Well, he's not white.
Like genuinely.
I'd say you're more athletic. Me and Rusty are recording a podcast, and I want you to know that you're on it. But
what are you guys talking about?
We're just talking about our youth, our younger years.
Can I tell the podcast how I was neglected as a kid?
No, you cannot.
I think that's a little bit heavy. This is our first episode.
My dad was around, and my mom loved me very much.
I can second that. Yeah. They're both very stable.
If I call you back, it is for good reason. Thank you.
All right. Okay.
Bye.
Cool. Love you.
Yeah, that's our first guest, I guess. First guest, I guess. I guess I also need to go back to elementary school so I can learn how to speak.
That was my cousin Trey settling a debate. I guess my cousin Jaden said he's more athletic than Trey is, but Jaden may be very tall, but he's also a pudge. And he's not athletic. He's just naturally gifted. And Trey is not all that athletic either, but he's certainly more.
Yeah, between the two.
Between the two, absolutely. I'd shred Trey. In everything. Except for video games, he would shred me. I've made this very clear to him before. We'll be playing video games, and as soon as I'm losing at whatever we're playing, I'm like,
better than you and everything else.
Dude, fight me!
I have a girlfriend.
Dude, I have a solid relationship and a dad!
Oh, I couldn't pull that card.
Well, next time you make a point that's right, that's what I'm going to pull again. I know too many people that don't have a dad. It just works every time. It's a power move. And I can do that to my own dad. I can just do it to everybody. Fuck you. My dad's here. I can go say hi to him right now.
You couldn't do it. I think the only person you couldn't do it to is Isaac.
Yeah, because
everyone else you could pull
he
that.
has the same dad. No, Sonya has a dad.
He was absentee. You couldn't pull it.
And my dad's...
You could say that.
I could say that to my own father. Because he doesn't... So, I mean, I could do that to everyone. Like, haha, dad powers.
And meanwhile, Jesse's power is to fuck your dad.
God damn it.
God damn it.
Damn it! You're not supposed to know about that. The more people that know, the more he's going to do it just to keep up with the demand.
He says Jesse has this great thing where he says he figures out your dad's full name, and then he will say, "Oh, listen, I'm going to rush over to blank blank blank's house right now and kiss him on the mouth if you don't shut up."
Well, his dad is Candy Joyner.
Yes.
And I've
OG double OG.
I've felt that man before.
Felt him personally.
If you're listening, Candy, you know what I'm talking about.
If you felt him, listen. If you're listening, Candy, the sentence is coming.
I made you.
I am pressing charges.
I was not 18 at the time. Disclaimer: I did not have sexual relations with anyone. That was over the age when I was not.
Jesse's dad. A false accusation. It's blackmail.
It's
not even blackmail.
I'm getting nothing out of this except for the fact that it's like how Super Mega does that to their workers, where it's like, yeah, he's just an absolutely awful racist. Like they do that about Jim all the time.
So,
like, yeah, Jim's a pedophile.
I like all the dumb bits that they make Justin do.
Justin's a sweetheart. We need a Justin.
We do.
I think Jesse could be our Justin.
Justin's a real cutie.
I think Jesse could be our Justin because he's kind of cute. Or Stevie, but Stevie Stevie could be our Justin.
Yeah, Stevie's.
We'll figure it
It's
out.
a toss-up. We got a couple cute friends.
If anyone ever watches this, and we'll have people on over time, and they could decide who they'd want to bring onto the working title crew.
Yeah.
Because not that we ever do have to add, but there's always potential for needing an artist or having a person that would help us with ideas.
Yeah, I know. I know Miranda has offered to do some art. I'm sure Jesse would too.
Jesse would love to. I'm sure Stevie would put way more time into it, but Jesse would be a really funny one to have because Jesse's a funny.
We're lucky enough to have a handful of talented people.
Yeah, that's how I've gotten
friends.
through life, being as untalented as I am. I surround myself with talented people.
Or you have like one talent that the rest of the friends don't, but the rest of you is useless.
Literally the whole group. I am the athletic one.
This guy's last name is Bland.
Dennis Bland. Would you
Wow.
guess? That is the most boring...
Hello, everyone. I'm Dennis Bland. I'm going to go kiss my wife and children.
But he has made a giant donation to Children's Hospital, so...
That makes sense. Fuck you, children.
You nerd. Dude, I would never donate to children in need.
Bro, I donate to those funds that kill the homeless. You know what's really fucked up to me? The measures people take to make sure that homeless people can't sleep on shit. Like, you have a lot of... I know in the bigger cities, a lot of benches will have stuff in the middle, like a lump for no reason. And it's so the homeless people can't sleep there because it wouldn't be comfortable.
It makes the city
fuck
look
you
bad.
Up. It's
makes
really...
the city look bad, man. Get a job.
It's fucked up.
Get a job.
I don't give a shit about you.
No?
When people do vent covers like that look all funky and weird, just so homeless people can't sleep on them and stay warm.
It is insane. Granted, if you go to San Francisco, the streets are flooded with feces from the homeless because there's nowhere for them to go. And if you look homeless, you can't get a job.
That's true.
So you can't stop being homeless.
It's the same thing with like going to jail. And once you have that on your record, people don't want to hire you.
Yeah, once you're a felon, you can't vote. Like, you can't move. There's nothing you can really do.
Isn't that fucked up?
You can't. I think
it's like you messed up once, and now the system says,
well, granted, it's a
you're
felony.
Dog shit.
It's a pretty big one. I mean, a felony it's not easy to get those, but I mean, once you've done it, I don't think you can leave. I don't think you can like leave the country.
No,
I don't think you can't get any government jobs. You can't.
I don't think you can leave the continental United States.
No, you can probably go like South America because I mean, let's face it,
that's no man's land.
They're all felons. Oh, that's not good. I shouldn't have said that.
Well, the cartel's after you, Pac. They're gonna bring you back.
No, leave me here. I got back. I'm fine.
I can't go back, man.
No, they can't take me back, Holmes. I cannot go back.
Not back to Cuba.
Not cuckoo. I can't go back to Cuba. Take me back to Chile.
Back to Chile, man. It's okay. We took Spanish.
I go to McDonald's and I get the una hamburguesa.
You get the Royale with cheese.
Sin pene. I get the Royale with cheese, man.
Do not fuck with me.
Do not fuck with me. I got the Royale with cheese.
You think he's gonna like?
I am in great mood.
It becomes like a Russian accent now.
You've given me cheese. Happy man.
Happy man.
That's what South Americans sound like.
I am only happy when I have cheese in my hand.
The South American Indians, they go, I love cheese.
The South American communists. They wear their ushankas in their jungles.
I am large fan.
I am big fan of cheese.
Large fan of cheese.
Cheese is my favorite.
Cheese.
As Grandpapa would say, it's cheese or nothing.
As Grandpa would say,
Get the fuck up! Get the fuck up! I do not care if you are 5 years old. Go work the fields.
You are not at war. Go to war.
Grandpapa was a good man.
Grandpapa was the best man I ever know.
You know what I found out?
My father became painter. They're fucking cool.
I found out, I think a couple months ago, that Russia basically institutionalized alcoholism.
Yeah, they're just like, here you go.
They would, yes, because the communist workers would be worked so hard, so long, they made vodka extraordinarily cheap. And so people would buy it, and then they would drink, and then go home and they'd beat their kids, and their kids would grow up to drink. Isn't that fucking horrible? And they just kept perpetuating it. They kept putting up more vodka facilities.
In all fairness, to the Russian people, I think they were in the right. I want to hear me out. All right.
Okay.
The people in charge at the time, bad people. All right.
Yeah.
Mr. Vladimir.
I'm not. I'm definitely
Mr.
not.
Vladimir Putin.
I'm not blaming the Russian people.
I'm blaming the Russian people more than anyone else.
Okay.
Get your shit together. God damn.
You peasants! You should have rose up against those Marxist fucks.
It's like I hate Germany more than now. I hate Germany now more than ever.
Hitler was right, guys.
No,
you heard it here first.
That's what I said.
Local news. A local Hispanic man has decided to publicly declare Hitler was right.
I did not say that.
Yep.
He was not. I know Jewish people. They're alright. I know German people. I'm not huge on them. So, I mean, I think, if anything, I agree that Jesus was not the Messiah. I love dreidels.
L'chaim.
And jelly donuts make me really happy. So I think I like Jewish people more than anyone that isn't Jewish does. I feel closer to them.
Listen, I can...
We are one.
This is a... I don't know about all that.
I am transferring
whatever
to Jewish culture.
After
give me a bank, and I will roll from there.
After I...
I've been watching too much Kanye recently, haven't I? I listened to Graduation too many times.
In middle school, after I learned that, after I started to question Christianity, I think Judaism was one of the first things I looked into because it feels like it's almost better in every way.
Judaism has they're very
people. A lot of the Jews seem to be a lot less toxic than Christians.
Jewish people are way more accepting because they don't have this ultimate bad ending for people that don't agree with them.
That is listen. That is the big problem with Christianity. People on both sides, on the believers and the non-believers, because if you don't believe in God,
yeah,
the Christians
are like, you're going to hell.
Yeah, exactly. And then they're going to try their best to make sure that you don't do that. And then on the other side, the Christians are living their lives worse because they fear, oh God, I can't masturbate. Oh God, I can't play violent video games and listen to metal. It's the devil's work.
But yeah, like Jewish people, oftentimes, far more accepting. Oftentimes, from what I've known from the Jewish people that I have met,
they don't have
are very,
punishment.
very nice.
They're
very
don't have,
sweet.
You're going to hell whenever you die. Eternal damnation because you said God's name in vain.
I've never been threatened, or
felt threatened.
I've never been intimidated,
yeah,
or anything by Jewish people because I think they feel righteous in what they believe, and whatever you believe is your choice. They've been encroached on very often. I think it's one of the things where Christians are so used to just being like, you believe this, or I will rape your family.
Yeah, the Christians are used to being the winners.
Christians do that.
So if you look at history...
Over history, Christians will be like, you either believe in God, or we rape your wife and we kill your children, and then you will believe in God.
We don't have a lot of records...
Jewish people don't do that.
We have a lot of records of, like, Norse mythology and stuff, because whenever Christianity came through that part of the world, all of those records were just, like, destroyed.
Yeah.
All we have left is logs made by scholars to be like, alright, we don't want everything to be completely forgotten. You know, a lot of the sources have become what's called corrupted, which is the original story has been twisted by a later writer.
Yeah.
But a lot of the original meanings of these stories is still there, which is good. It's just we don't have all the stories that we could have.
One of the main reasons, when I started to stray away, for a long time, I was never really religious.
Yeah.
But I considered myself to be a Christian. All in all, I was like, whatever.
Yeah, I feel
believe
you.
in
Like,
God,
I don't go to
Jesus.
church all the time.
Yeah, but that...
Yeah.
But over time, I started, when you read history books, they don't outwardly say it, but when you look into, like, they were invaded. You're like, who invaded them? You look it up, 90% of the time it was white people or Christians or both. And you're like, Jesus fuck. And I look, and, like, Christianity is not this, like, lighthearted, good, solid core beliefs. It's, like, a history of enslaving and raping and killing.
The text might have valuable lessons. But if you look at the history of the people who have followed that text, it's muddy as fuck.
It's messed up. I mean,
yes.
the more I read about it, I'm like, I feel like I can't follow
By
this.
and large, I think more people have done shitty things for Christianity than, like, any other religion.
Yeah, Jewish people. Going back to Jewish people. Very rarely commit genocide.
Yeah.
They don't really do that.
Another thing, I think, is the perspective. Because Judaism is an ancient religion.
Yeah, very old. Very
so I
respected.
think a lot of the people who accept Judaism, in some sense, are familiar with the history of it. And so they have a greater perspective.
A great understanding of what it really means to be Jewish.
Yes.
A lot of Christian people see it as, like, I go to church. I'm Christian. Like, I believe in God. I like football and beer. And I like Jesus Christ.
And God damn it, if someone's kneeling for the...
Damn it, if a man kisses
anthem.
another man...
there's going to be hell to pay.
I will slay him, and he will go to hell, and I will go to heaven as a martyr. Never once as a Jewish person, been like, you're gay? You're going to hell. Because there isn't one. They're like, you're probably going to go to heaven. You agree with us.
I wonder how
God
the Orthodox
such.
Jews, like the really conservative ones, feel about gay people.
I'm sure that there is a section or a part of Jewish people that do not agree with gay marriage.
Yeah, that's always the case.
It's very prominent. It's very prominent with just people in general.
Mm-hmm.
But it seemed as though, with my relatively limited, but my knowledge and understanding through meeting Jewish people and studying the religion, it's far less in your face. Like, they believe it. You're not going to change their mind. They may try on occasions to kind of martyr out and try to get other people to believe, but if you don't, they don't threaten you. Christians, I've been told by Christian people, they're like, hey, you should go to my church. And I'm like, I'm not really into that. And they're like, you're going to go to hell. I'm like, that is a threat. You're threatening me with eternal damnation.
It comes from an honest place too,
and they're sad about it.
They believe. Yes,
they're like,
they think that that's actually what's going to happen to you.
They're like, I'm so sorry.
They're so worried.
But they're telling me,
and you created this problem for yourself.
They're telling me that I'm going to eternal damnation. That is a threat. Telling me you're going to hell
by believing in this. Listen, I don't think that Christianity, or really any other religion, is any more or any less crazy than, like, I think if you give Scientology like a couple thousand years, and a lot of the weirdos drop out of it, I think that Scientology is going to be like one of those. It's going to be like, if it has the chance to spread, if Scientology as it is now is pretty awful and shitty. They're really weird, but I feel like it's going to be one of those things where if you give it time, then it's going to spread out.
I was thinking about my previous saying that a lot of Christian people are kind of in your face and a little rude at times about their beliefs, and how Jewish people typically are a little more relaxed if you don't agree with them.
Oh, but I'm sorry, I remembered what I was getting at whenever I said that. Mm-hmm. We remember L. Ron Hubbard. We remember the dude who wrote this text. If someone wrote the Bible in the modern day, Someone wrote the Bible in the modern day, in recent memory. Do you think Christianity would be treated the same way as Scientology?
Probably.
I think at the very least it would be similar. I don't know if it would be on the same level, unless the Christians would decide to be as weird as the Scientologists.
There is a very different level of believability between the two. One is ancient, one's recent, one's kind of goofy, one's kind of based on weird things that we don't understand. Granted, both of them are, but the thing about the Jewish religion that I think everything is less set in stone because they believe that they're still waiting on a Messiah.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of the reason that they're more generally accepting is because Christians are like, we have the Messiah, we have God. Done. That is it.
We're just waiting for him to come back.
And all be all, he'll be back one day to take the good ones to heaven. Jewish people are still, they're waiting for their Messiah, which I think leaves an opening as to what is acceptable and what is not, because they're told by prophets from God, and they're waiting for their Messiah. So I'm wondering if until they deem a Messiah, that it's going to be kind of open, I guess, right?
Do you think that time is going to come?
Because Jesus told everyone what God thought, essentially. He was like, this is what God thinks. Do this. And that's what a lot of core beliefs are made off of. And Jewish people don't have that. They have things from God from prophets, but I'm assuming it wasn't as intensive as what Jesus was saying when he was around. And I do wonder if there ever will be a Messiah. I mean, like, because granted, I'm not a huge God guy.
I think it's going to be. Listen,
it'll kind of ruin the fun.
As someone who is leans more towards atheism than anything else, I can say that I don't think that it's probably ever going to happen.
I think they're going to wait forever.
I think that there's going to be. Why are there so many Taylor Swifts? But I think that there's going to be. It's going to be one of those things where certain people will be like, this is the Messiah. And you're going to have a handful of other people who are going to be like, no, that's not the Messiah. This is the Messiah.
There's going to be a whole other level of Christianity where it's like,
listen, yeah,
they were all like, there's one God. And then some of them were like, this is the Messiah. And the other one's like, nope, we're still waiting. And then some people will be like, this one is. And there's other ones that will be like, nope, still waiting.
I feel like...
So it's going to be like Jewish religion will go on forever. And there will be little branches where people found their own messiahs.
Isn't that really? And then you start to break down, like, if you think about like what happened in Waco, like, David Koresh believed he was the mouth of God. Basically, he was the hot shit new Messiah. And so he was like, God tells me I get to fuck all you women. And they were like, yeah, okay.
You know, that was weird. I think religions are cults, every single one of them.
Yeah.
You notice that most cults end in, I get to fuck your wife?
Isn't that really
most
weird?
cults are like, God says I need to fuck your wife. And then there's some religions that say, God says I need to kind of fuck your wife. And then Christianity is like, God says I need to fuck your son. I'm sorry. It's what God said. I need to blow your son.
Oh, no.
I can't get canceled by Christian people. They're canceling all the Christian people already. Yeah. I'm not on their side. People, you're forced to go to a weird building and call an old man father while he diddles you. And I'm not huge on that. I am not pro pedophilia. Therefore, I will not go to church. If you go to church, you are a pedophile.
I think that might be a little bit of a spicy.
No.
No? All right.
Nope.
Cool.
Christian people, most of them hate gay people. I'm not for that.
Yeah.
I love gay people. I love trans people. I love all the different races and religions. A lot of Christians don't. I don't ride with that.
After all this ragging on Christians, I should say,
no.
I have met a handful in my life that are okay with the fact that I don't believe in God. And they'll still talk to me and treat me like a human person and won't try to turn me over every second.
There are. there's always exceptions. I think a majority of Christians that are very Christian, like the majority of churchgoers, are set in a certain pattern. But of course there are exceptions. In every one of the facets, every example that we've given, there are exceptions to that rule. I've had more bad experience than good experience with deeply religious Christians. Like, everyone can believe whatever they want, and I'll have no problem with it. I'll never tell you that your beliefs are, like, irrelevant. I'll never say, that's dumb, I don't agree. If you would like to spark a debate with it, sure, I would bring up my points if that's what we were doing. But it seems like whenever I say I'm atheist or I'm agnostic, which I think is where I'm leaning towards, where I think there might be something, I just don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on.
I think it's definitely possible that there's something,
That's
but
why
I don't believe that there is something. You know, I am open to the idea, but I don't think.
I think I'd classify that as like borderline agnostic, where like you're open to the idea that there might be,
right on the edge there.
I just don't know. But like if someone told me they're Christian, I'd be like, cool. Or like someone told me they're Buddhist, someone told me they're Jewish, someone told me they're Catholic.
Actually,
I'd be like,
I think
cool.
it's really neat to meet people of different religions.
I think it's great.
I can hear what they have to say about their stuff,
oftentimes
I think their practices.
I think it's great that they found something that they believe in wholeheartedly, and it gives them a path.
Yeah.
That is fine. But every time I tell someone that is religious that I am agnostic, I am berated with this flow of just concern and anger. And I'm like, I didn't agree with you. I didn't make fun of you. Don't make fun of me because you don't agree with me.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't have to believe what you believe. It's fine that you believe whatever you believe. I've tried being Christian. Me and my dad tried to go to church multiple times. Just never meshed right. A lot of the people in the room had very different beliefs than I did, and that's part of finding religion, is finding people that feel a similar way to how you feel.
Yeah.
And I went on this little thing where I did a lot of Buddhist stuff. Prayer times and fasting, ways of thought, a lot of deep meditation and thinking. And I did enjoy that to a degree.
Personally, I am a big fan of meditation. I think, at least for me, obviously your mileage is, may vary depending on who you are and your behaviors. But meditation, meditation is something I find to be very nice from time to time. If I'm getting overwhelmed, I kind of, like if I'm really anxious in a moment, I kind of do like a micro meditation almost, where I close my eyes, I clear my thoughts, I just breathe in and breathe out.
I think
I kind of collect myself.
I do a little mesh of, I forget, there's a saying that went with it, but it's like you put yourself through a kind of fire, and then you find a way to tame it back down. Where MMA, which I thoroughly enjoy learning those kind of things, I love martial arts, I'll do that, and in a way it's putting myself through very intensive, very stressful events. And learning how to calm yourself during that. Like, I can be stressed at work. But if I can calm myself when I'm on the ground getting punched in the face, like you can't get out, you're just getting hit. If I can calm myself there to a point where I can find a way out, then work to me is so much easier. Or like relationships are so much easier because you understand, okay, like this is stress. How do I deal with the most stressful thing I do?
Yeah.
How much less stressful than that is this particular event?
Especially if you can find something that is somewhat like that and you feel a reward out of it. Like you were saying, I'm sure whenever you fight, you also feel alleviated.
When you're out of that position.
Yeah.
When you get to stand back up, you're like, oh my god.
Lifting weights.
Absolutely.
After you get done a hard day at the gym, you feel so rewarded. Your body is tired and aching, but you're not upset about it. You're like, you know what? I put some hours in today.
Absolutely. That's one of the things that we can connect on. because we did lift for a while together. And there is just this very fulfilling, good, like, I don't know how to explain it. When you're done with a really hard workout, and you're like, I have done everything I could do today.
It's literally like...
You feel so... You're sore. You feel so fucking good.
The closest thing I can compare it to is in video games, if you're up against a hard boss, and you're getting it, like you're fighting it, and you lose, and you keep losing, but each time you feel yourself getting closer and closer and being like, alright, maybe this is the go. Alright, maybe this is the go. And then you finally get that time where you win, and you beat him, and you're just like, yes.
Yeah,
thank
finally.
God. It's a similar feeling to that.
It's very...
over... I think, for us, we're very, I guess, I don't want to say, like, primitive, but a lot of what we enjoy is very primal. Like, we like watching big men fight and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so we get satisfaction out of making ourselves better physically.
Absolutely. I mean, that's part of what MMA does for me. It's like, it's very primal. Like, the idea of it. Like,
yeah.
it is a cockfight. You're just going at each other and you're seeing what you can do, learning techniques to make you more effective. And it helps with so many things. Like, it's a great way to relieve stress, even though when you're sparring with someone, you're not really trying to hurt them. You're trying to win, essentially.
Yeah.
It's not like you're going in there with your teammate in your guys' gym.
You're not going
trying to hurt
full
him.
force.
You don't throw elbows. You don't throw knees at the guy in the face, at least most of the time. It's like you're all there trying to get better, and you blow off a lot of steam, putting in all the work. And then afterwards, you do feel a very strong sense of calm, where you're like, I put in a lot of work. Like, you're covered in sweat. You might be a little bloody. You don't really know. And you're like, man, I put in work. I feel good. I feel sore, but I feel great. Because you can tell when you're getting better. Footworks get better. You get stronger. You get faster. You get more flexible. And you're like, I feel good.
Yeah.
You feel kind of unstoppable at times. You're like, if I keep growing, if every day I feel a little bit better at this, like, what's anyone gonna do? But then you get humbled the very next time you're there. And it's just this constant ebb and flow of, like, you feel very powerful, and then you get put back down to a level.
Yeah,
Eventually you beat that guy.
You get put in perspective.
Like, I'd show up and I'd in a sparring session, I'd dominate a new person. And that whole day, I'm like, man, I feel great. Go like the next day, and there's that one fucking dude I can just never get the better of. And he'll dominate me. And then over a couple weeks later, I beat that dude. Like, I feel better. I have a superior spar. And then there's always the next guy up. There's always the next guy up.
It's good to feel like you're hot shit sometimes.
Yeah.
You know?
If you never do, you
have to get put back in your place, though.
Yeah.
And then you have to be like, alright. You have to have the mentality to be like, alright, I am willing to work back up to this guy. I'm willing to keep going.
It takes a certain kind of person. Because, like, I don't know how to explain it. I've had a lot of hobbies. I've had a song I can't master. I've had a person I'm not smarter than. Things of that nature. But it's all very, very different. Like, if I keep losing to a boss, I get angry. If I keep losing sparring in, like, Muay Thai, like kickboxing, I feel sad. Like, you don't feel mad. You're hurt.
Yeah, it's like
my
pride thing.
My face hurts.
Oh, yeah, and physically.
This dude just fucked me up. My leg is purple. one of my teeth's bleeding. He fucked me up. And the class is over. I gotta go home. And it is one of the most defeating feelings you'll ever feel. Even if you're rolling, like if you're grappling, if you just get manhandled.
Yeah.
I mean,
oh,
you go
this
home
guy
sad.
just kicked my ass.
You're like, I just got fucked.
Just got fucked up.
For 2 hours.
Yeah.
And now I have to go home and
Just
talk
got
to
rolled
people.
on.
I gotta go home and talk to people in the morning. I gotta go to work. And then I gotta go back to that shit. And it takes a certain kind of person, I think. Not to toot my own horn. I have times where I don't go back the next day. I'm just fucking angry. Because you're sad, the next day you're mad. But going back and continuing to get better, and the biggest thing is going with that guy again. It's hard to do. When you're like, you see people like, I know I can beat him. And then you see the other guy that just beat you, he doesn't have a partner yet. And you gotta have the fucking balls to go up and spar with him again. And you gotta keep getting your ass beat until you figure it out. You get better, you see what he's doing, you learn how to read it and defend it, and then you beat him. And that is the most incredible feeling.
I think you...
After all the sad, you're like, yes, I'm the king of the fucking world.
I think you really look out if it's a dude who is willing to put that hand out and be like, all right, now let's try that again.
My gym, Next Level MMA, a great place. Next Level, I think it's just Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu. Mount Union BJJ is what it's called. But they are the coolest people I have ever trained with ever. I mean, like, I have played different sports. I've boxed before a little tiny bit. They are the coolest people. I mean, almost everyone there. I've had people mid-spar, like mid-round, stop me and be like, next time I do this, do this. And they'll just do it a couple times and see how I react to it and show me how to do it. Like, this one dude, he kept charging me. Like, because there's different ways to play that out. You can kind of sit back in your stance, defend everything they do, and react. So they throw a jab, you just parry the jab, throw a jab of your own. Or you can be the aggressor. You can come at them. You can throw different things. And he kept kind of rushing me. Like, he'd throw, and then he'd throw like a punch and get off the center line, like off to my side, and he'd punch me in the gut, kick me in the leg, go back to the front, hit me a couple more times. And he was like, next time I do that, just throw a little front kick. Like, bring your knee up to your chest and kick out. Like a fucking Sparta kick
Distance.
into my gut. And he's like, I promise you that if you do that to every person that rushes you, they will not rush again. They're going to sit back and throw jabs. They're going to try to figure you out. And at first, I was like, I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm off balance. Feels kind of weak. Turns out, if you kick someone in the gut with your heel, it's not a hard kick to throw. They're way less likely to keep running at you.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, shit, that hurt. Okay. And if they have longer arms...
Whenever you're running, you're moving your momentum.
Yeah,
and so you're like,
a
you're
gallop
more valuable.
Step. It's almost like a gallop step more than a run. Like, they step one foot out, and they kind of like almost a little hip step, like a hip hop step.
Okay.
And they're moving fast, and you just put that foot out there. And if they're a really good grappler, if you're doing an MMA spar instead of a kickboxing spar, they might catch it because it's a slower kick. They might catch it and sweep your other foot, take you down. You're in a bad position, but. It's like, guys like that are great to have around. Because they're not going to take it easy on you. Unless you explicitly ask, like, hey, can we go, like, 5%? Like, really slow. Other times, they'll go as hard as they feel like, but they will teach you how to deal with it. Teach you how to breathe, teach you how to move.
I feel like that's almost a must for people who are more experienced than you whenever you're doing anything with them.
Yeah, I mean...
For them to be able to be like, alright, this... If people did that in fighting games and shit, people would be a lot less salty.
People would be a lot less mad about it.
You have to have someone who's willing to go down to your level and say, hey, I did this, and you didn't know how to deal with that. And that's okay. And this is how you deal with that.
This is how I deal with that when someone does it to me.
Exactly.
And it's very helpful.
It builds a sense of kinship.
Yeah, and joining a martial art gym, very similar to joining...
And it also stops you from just saying, hey, this guy's an asshole.
Yeah.
Because it's really easy to tell yourself that.
I have met assholes. Not necessarily at that gym, but going around, I have met assholes in martial arts. There are guys who know you're not as good as them, and they have no intentions of helping you. They're just going to pick you apart. And you can learn from that too, but it's less of a mentorship and more of a bitter hatred.
Yes.
And if you don't, and if you And if you're not built in a certain way, you're going to quit when you meet that person. When you meet that person that just beats the shit out of you, you're just going to say, I'm not good enough. It's very easy to feel that way. When you keep getting hit in the face, there are times where you'd literally rather be anywhere. I would rather be anywhere but here. Because I'm just getting hit in the face. I don't know how to defend it. Every time I defend it, they move. I don't know how to move like they're moving. And if they're not telling you at some point how to fix that, then every day you're going to go in, get your ass beat, and that is it. There's no competition. You're just getting hurt. You want to go home.
Yeah,
and you're going to.
It would just be like a net loss.
You're just paying a lot of money to get hurt. But when guys stop and... Because you don't really... If you're getting beaten up, but you're starting to catch on, because they're teaching you what to do, you're starting to catch on, and you find yourself doing that when you're sparring with other people. Like, I'm not fighting this guy anymore, but this next guy did the same thing that guy did at one point, and I remember how he told me to counter that. You counter it and it works, even if you're losing. Doing that counter, you're like,
you got the dopamine hit.
I did it. And now it's your ballpark. You do what you want. Mm-hmm. And I found myself doing that with other people now that I have a little bit more of an understanding. Where, like, if a new guy comes, I'll kind of show him, this is how you should stand. This is how you should breathe. That's a big one. Some people just breathe out of their nose the whole time. Some people just breathe out of their mouth the whole time. And you're going to run out of stamina that way. Some people stand really, really straight. And you'd think knowing how to stand isn't something you need to be taught. But if you're standing really up straight with your feet kind of close together, like a normal stand, and you take a kick to your legs, both of them are coming out from under you. And
you have to distribute your weight. That's one thing I remember.
Stand kind of wide. Square your stance a little bit, but not all the way. Blade your shoulders, or one hand's in front, so you know which one's your one. Your jab is the arm closest to the opponent. And just things like that. But I recommend it to everyone that I know, all the time, that learning a martial art is the greatest balance you could ever find for your life.
Yeah, because you got the physical release, and being able to just fucking hit something.
Yeah.
And you have the spiritual release.
Yeah. And you get
because it is an art.
Absolutely. It's not as brutal as you think. 'Cause if you go in there like a brute, you're going to get choked unconscious.
It is a... Because that's what... It's in the name.
It's martial art.
It's a martial art. You are disciplining yourself to be able to express yourself in this way.
Yeah. I mean, if you watch very, very early UFCs...
In my mind, martial artists are some of the highest forms of art. If they are not in it just to fuck people up, if they are in it for the sport of it, for the companionship, then that's the best shit.
Like, because if you watch very, very early UFCs, before there were weight classes and rules and stuff, it was just an open fighting competition. And you'd have these brutes, they were like wrestlers in high school, wrestlers in college, maybe they're a boxer. And you see Royce Gracie, this little Brazilian dude. He's like he's not very tall, 5'6" maybe. He comes out, he might be 145 pounds. Like, he's not a big person. The whole Gracie family is smaller people. And they're just incredible at Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. And it's just submission grappling. You choke people out, joint locks, arm locks. And this giant bruiser, how most people think of fighting. Where he's just the big guy and he runs at you and he punches you a lot. Those guys get choked unconscious in 30 seconds by this insanely disciplined little man in a funny little gi. He'll choke you unconscious and he'll snap your arm off. And he's not a big bruiser. He's not a big meathead. He is a very talented, very intelligent, and articulate martial artist.
I like that a lot. Because obviously, most of the time, strategy is going to overcome brute force.
Absolutely.
There is one of my favorite Batman things in The Dark Knight Returns. Batman is old, and he's going up against this dude who is the leader of a gang called the Mutants, and he's this big fucking swole guy. He's got like a spiked mohawk. He challenges Batman, and Batman he gets fucked up a good bit, but Batman is putting the mutant leader in a position that he wants. Because the mutant leader is dumb as shit, and he's strong. Batman has the advantage in terms of skill and intellect, so he's putting this guy in the position he wants. He gets him in the mud. He throws mud in his eye, fucks him up, breaks his nose, gets him down in the mud, and then he starts going to town, bro. He's breaking his limbs, and he's like, I think there's a line he says where he says, "This isn't a mud hole. This is an operating table."
Yeah.
And he's just fucking going through. And he lands a bunch of, like, before he takes him down into the mud, he lands a bunch of strikes to, like, paralyze his nerve centers and shit. And that shit's awesome. Just like because if you have the ability to do that, to hit someone and perform like a reflexive lock in their body, you know, like just be able to lock a muscle group.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
To be fair, in my martial arts that I like to do, we're not quite as technical as that.
Yeah, no,
the closest thing that's
literally insane to be able to do that in real life.
Is the liver.
Yeah, the liver's a weak spot.
It's very different.
I think I watched a whole video about like what happens, what your body does whenever you get a liver shot.
It's called level changes, where you hit head, body, legs, and any combination of the three. And if you could think about fighting somebody, you're trying to think of your offense, so you're trying to change levels. But you're also trying to guard all three of your levels. Guarding your body, you need your hands. Guarding your head, you also need your hands. Guarding your legs is different, but it's a whole other part of your body you have to think about, and it hurts really bad if you don't defend your legs. They start welting up above the knee, you can't bend your shit, it's all purple, it hurts. So if you can line up an open shot to their liver, which you have to be pretty accurate to do, not incredibly accurate, but you have to hit the right spot.
Yeah.
Then it's game over.
Yes.
They might puke on the mat.
Yes, like it is instinctive in the human body. If you get hit in the liver with any amount of force that would be significant, you're going down.
Yeah, you're going down.
Doesn't matter your skill level, how fucking big you are, you still got a liver, and you still got that weak spot.
Yeah. Because it's the only...
And you still need your fucking liver.
The bottom three ribs are not connected to your sternum. If you get hit in them, there's potential for them to pierce your liver, which is directly by the lower, left?
It's
lower
oblong shape, right up under your rib cage.
Yep. And so any force that hits directly to it, your body shuts down almost into a fetal position.
Yeah, because
where you're trying to protect your guts.
Yes. Your liver is literally one of your most important organs. It's probably number 4, behind your heart, lungs, and brain.
Yeah. I mean, it's very painful. Getting hit in your body sucks. I'd say getting hit in the head is the best, is the easiest part to deal with. I've been hit in the head a lot, but I'd rather get hit in the face than hit in the body or kicked in the legs. Because when your leg starts welting up, you try to step on it and it just doesn't feel the same. It hurts. Your knees stiff. Or you go to crunch to throw a punch, like you're kind of crunching your body in, and you just have this pain throughout the whole side of your body. And it's just because you're not meant to get punched in the gut.
Yeah.
We're built dumb. We're the only animal.
Yeah, all this important shit. All
right
soft and vulnerable.
Right in the front.
Right in the front, baby.
Yep. Only protect half of it. And so when you're fighting people, if you can hit them in the gut hard enough...
It's literally all the really, really important stuff is protected. All the less very important stuff, not.
Your whole digestive system, for the most part, is not protected.
It's all you really got there is muscle, but what the fuck is muscle going to do against, like, a sword?
Yeah.
A bone most of the time will stop a sword. Unless that's a really sharp sword and someone's swinging it really fucking hard.
I mean...
But
if you catch an elbow to your ab muscles,
oof.
It sucks. Elbows are really sharp. They're not going to cut through anything. But it's way more likely to rip, to tear muscles, than it is to get punched. Because it's very sharp.
It's almost like instinctive. Whenever you get hit in the muscle, you tense it up.
Yeah.
And then that's limiting your shit, too.
Mm-hmm. That's why in some forms of jiu-jitsu that I'll watch, they call it combat jiu-jitsu. And you can throw palm strikes. It's almost like a slap where you can press. Like you can throw a ground and pound, essentially. But if you keep hitting them, and like if they have you, because if they're on their back, you're in between their legs, you're in their full guard. And a lot of the times, if you're hitting them in the face with palm strikes, they'll pull your head to their head. So you're kind of stuck. Your head's to their head, you're in between their legs. And if you just throw palm strikes at their sides, just into their ribs, into the side, eventually they'll tense. They'll keep tensing. They're going to let go.
Yeah.
They're like, please hit me in the nose. For the love of God, stop hitting me in the side. And they'll just be purple and swollen, fucking lumpy. And they won't move the same the whole rest of the match. They won't move the same the whole rest of the tournament. If they win, they're going to be a little goofed up because your body's just not built for that. We're not built for combat.
No.
At all.
Which is really funny because it seems that one of the things humans love the most is hitting each other.
We have more war than anything else.
Ugh. Well, it's getting late. And I think this has been a good first episode, a good start.
It was a bit of a wreck at times, but I mean, I had a lot of fun.
We did only have one pause, so that's good.
Yeah. I mean, maybe next time we do it, we'll come up with more ideas, and maybe by then we'll have an actual...
real title.
A real title.
Probably keep the intro, though. That one was fun.
The intro is fun. We could probably change it every episode. Things like that. I like Peter Griffin. It wouldn't hurt to keep him around, maybe.
Maybe.
I think it's really funny. So...
yeah, alright. I love you all.
I love you.
We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
You better come back.
Come back.